There's a quiet moment that feels like victory. You get good at your job. Not loud good, not flashy good. The kind of good that shows up early, closes loops, hits deadlines, fixes problems before anyone even knows they exist. Your manager relaxes. Your teammates lean on you. The system starts to depend on you. And you tell yourself, finally, progress. But in most organizations, that isn't progress. It's a cage being built around you. One solved ticket, one clean report, one reliable guy compliment at a time. And the currency it steals from you isn't money, it's years. Because here's the dirty mechanic no one explains when you're young and hungry. When you become excellent, you don't automatically become promotable. You become inconvenient to move. You become valuable in a very specific way, the kind of value that makes people protect their own comfort. You become the person who gets things done without supervision, the person who never needs reminders, the person who makes other people's problems disappear. And that sounds like power, until you see what it really means. It means if they promote you, your manager has to replace you. And replacing someone who's quietly competent is painful. It creates risk. It creates gaps. It creates overtime. It creates meetings no one wants. It creates that one sentence managers hate most. Who's covering this when he's gone? So they don't move you. Not because they're evil, not because they're plotting. Because organizations don't reward best. They reward least disruption. Promoting you means trading a known machine for an unknown one, and unknowns make leaders nervous. So instead they do something that looks like opportunity, but isn't. They keep you exactly where you are and just make your job heavier. They hand you the broken process because you can fix it. They give you the messy client because you can handle it. They throw you the failing account because you don't complain. And they tell you with a smile, you're doing a great job. Then they add one more responsibility, and one more, until you're doing two jobs for one title. You become the owner of the monthly report. Then the system breaks. You fix it. Then you train the new hire. Now you're the trainer. Now you're the escalation guy. Now you're the Excel wizard. Now you're the operations person. And here's the cruel part. The more you prove you can carry it, the more they load onto your back. You don't get promoted, you get absorbed. And while all this is happening, something else starts to rot. Your growth. Because once you're really good, you stop learning. Not because you're lazy, because you've optimized. You know the shortcuts. You know the tools. You know the politics. You know how to deliver results on autopilot. And efficiency feels like mastery. But it's not mastery. It's repetition. You're getting rewarded for speed, not range. And speed at the same thing doesn't expand your career. It just makes you faster inside the same box. So 1 year becomes 2, 2 becomes 4. And one day you look up and realize you're elite at the job you already have, and unprepared for the job above you. Because the skills that make you lethal in your current role are not the skills that move you upward. At the execution level, you win by reliability, process mastery, volume, precision, staying calm while everything burns. But one level up? That game is different. That game is strategy, delegation, ambiguity, influence without authority, decision-making with incomplete information. And here's the corporate paradox. They won't promote you until you demonstrate those skills, but they won't give you the role where those skills are naturally built. So you get exceeds expectations. You get praise for being dependable. You get thank yous and little emojis and maybe a gift card. But you don't get labeled ready. Because nobody is evaluating you for readiness. They're evaluating you for performance in the current seat. And when an opening appears, they don't pick the person who performs best at today's job. They pick the person who fits tomorrow's risk. Promotion decisions don't happen in performance reviews. They happen in rooms you're not in. Succession planning, skip-level conversations, hallway discussions, private meetings where leaders don't ask, who closes the most tickets? They ask, who can handle the next level without collapsing? And in those rooms, people don't promote spreadsheets. They promote stories, narratives. Who comes to mind when they picture the next leader? Who seems already operating at the next level? Who has visibility? Who has sponsors? Who has presence outside their own lane? And if nobody is telling your story, you don't have one. That's the other trap. Silence gets mistaken for satisfaction. If you never say what you want, leadership assumes you're fine. If you never signal growth, they assume stability. If you never create urgency, you become easy to ignore. And you're thinking, but I'm doing everything right. You are, for the wrong scoreboard. Because being low maintenance makes you convenient, and convenient people get used. Then comes the final lock on the cage: identity. When you're too good at one thing, people start confusing your skill with your identity. They stop seeing you as a person with potential. They see you as a function. The guy who handles escalations, the Excel person, the operations fixer, the one who knows the system. And once an organization labels you, it treats tenure as proof. The longer you stay, the more evidence there is that you belong right there. It feels like job security. But it isn't security. It's inertia. And sometimes that's why people leave. Not always because the company is terrible, but because the company has already decided who they are. And the only way to become someone new is to go somewhere that hasn't stamped your forehead with a single label. So what do you do with this? You don't stop being competent. Competence matters. But hear this clearly. Competence is the entry ticket. It is not the strategy. After competence, the real game begins. If you want movement, you need two things in addition to performance: visibility and readiness. Visibility means your work doesn't just get done, it gets seen in context. Not bragging. Context. Readiness means you are actively building skills above your current job, even if that means being slightly less perfect at today's tasks. Not by slacking, by reallocating. By taking projects that show judgment, not just output. By mentoring so your knowledge becomes transferable and you become movable. By building a replacement path so your manager isn't terrified of losing you. By speaking up about what you want before the organization writes your story for you. You don't need drama. You need clarity. Because the people who move up aren't always the best workers. They're the ones who made themselves impossible to ignore. They did the work, and they built the narrative. They created a clock. They made leadership feel, if we don't grow this person, we'll lose them. And yes, that sounds cynical, but it's not cynicism. It's incentives. Organizations respond to what's in front of them. And if you're quietly excellent in the shadows, you are not in front of them. So remember the warning. The trap isn't being bad at your job. The trap is being too good at a job that doesn't lead anywhere, and calling that a career. Comfort feels like safety. Recognition feels like progress. Stability feels like success. But comfort and progress are not the same thing. And many people don't fail. They simply succeed at the wrong level, for too long. Don't build a beautiful place to stay still. Build a path to move. If this hit you, don't just nod and scroll. Do something. Like it, share it with the one friend who's overworked and underpaid, and comment "move" if you're done being stuck. And if you want more straight truth like this, subscribe, because we're building killers, not placeholders. Now you know. So don't lie to yourself.